This guy was mistakenly summoned into this world and granted a powerful skill that makes every girl fall for him. The anime began with a 40-year-old guy who was accidentally summoned to another world by a summoning spell. Instead of meeting the summoner, he encountered a goddess named Nolan. She apologized and explained that he had been unintentionally caught up in a summoning meant for someone else. Nolan was furious at the summoner for using the forbidden summoning spell, which is extremely dangerous. She explained that the laws of this world and Earth are vastly different, and the spell risked causing this world to collapse. When she detected the spell being activated, she tried to intervene. Although she couldn't stop it, she managed to redirect him to her location. As for the proper target of the spell, they were safely summoned to the place where the spell was activated, the Holy Sidonia Empire. When the man asked the goddess to send him back if his summoning was a mistake, Nolan admitted she couldn't, since she had already taken measures to prevent the summoning spell from ever being used again. She explained that even if she wanted to send him back, he no longer had a body to return to. She suggested he start a new life in this world instead. With no other options, the man reluctantly agreed and asked if that meant he would be sent to the Holy Sidonia Empire. The goddess shook her head, saying the empire was far too dangerous, especially since he was summoned by accident. If he were discovered there, his treatment would be harsh. Instead, she decided to send him to a different nation, granting him her blessing along with several useful skill to aid him on his journey. When he opened his eyes, he was shocked to see how handsome his new face was. Excited, he checked his status and began experimenting with his magic. While wandering through the forest in search of a village, he found a sturdy piece of wood and used his skill to craft it into a spear. By using his appraisal skill, he is able to identify useful materials in the area and stored them in his infinite storage, a skill he received from the goddess's blessing. Just then, he sees a child running away from the ribbit monster and calls out to him for help. Despite being scared, he manages to defeat the monster with a single slash. His status screen appears, showing that he has been promoted to the warrior job. The child informs him that there is a nearby village, and he asks her to guide him there. As for the monster's corpse, he stores it in his infinite storage, but realizes he has accidentally revealed his blessing skill to the child. Upon reaching the village, the man introduces himself as Takumi to the child's parents, who are deeply grateful for saving their daughter. Takumi then asks if he can stay in the village for a while. They smile and agree, but since the village has no inn, they decide to build him a house. While the villagers gather to help, Takumi attempts to use magic to level the ground. However, the effort leaves him with a headache as he has no mana left. Everyone is shocked to see that he can actually use magic and insists that he rest while they handle the rest. Meanwhile, in the Holy Sidonia Empire, 3 summoned individuals are greeted by a woman named Elizabeth, the first empress of the empire. She explains that they were summoned to this world because she needs their powers as heroes to save it. Just then, Akane, one of the summoned individuals, receives a blessing skill called Revelation from the goddess Nolan. The skill tells her not to trust Elizabeth. The next day, Takumi checks his status and successfully changes his job from warrior to blacksmith. With this new role, he can transform the ore he mines into iron ingots. Excited by his progress, he spends the entire day working on it. When the child visits him, she is shocked to find him completely drained of energy. Later, her mother gives him a mana potion and scolds him for overworking himself. As time passes, Takumi becomes skilled in blacksmithing, reaching level 40 in the job. However, he feels dissatisfied because his true ambition is to become an alchemist, not a blacksmith. One day, he asks the child's father if he has any potions he can spare. The father agrees to give him some on the condition that Takumi sells some of the potions he makes back to him. Takumi gladly accepts the deal. After crafting the potions, Takumi notices something unusual. The color of his potion is different from normal ones. Later, he eats a poisonous plant and then uses Cure Purification spell on himself, believing this method will help him quickly build resistance and improve his purification magic level. Just then, a level 25 boar suddenly appears and spots him. As the boar charges toward him, Takumi grabs his spear and tries to stab it, but the spear breaks. He then tried to use his magic to attack, but it has no effect. Terrified and unsure of what to do, he notices a level 19 wound spider nearby. When the boar charges at him again, the spider unexpectedly leaps onto the boar's face, protecting Takumi. Takumi is unsure of what's happening. As he thinks there is no way to the boar, he suddenly has an idea. By using his alchemy skill, Decompose, he manages to take down the boar. Grateful for the spider's help, he approaches it and thanks it for protecting him before using his skill to heal it. To his surprise, his status screen suddenly pops up, showing that he has unlocked the Tame skill. Shocked but excited, Takumi decides to make the spider his pet and names it Maple. This Maple evolves and regrows its missing legs. Back in the village, everyone is astonished that Takumi managed to defeat the boar on his own and even tamed a spider, an incredible feat since insect monsters are thought to be untamable. The villagers then celebrate with a feast, enjoying the boar's meat together. During this, Takumi asks the villagers about the nearest big city, and they tell him it's Bolton. While they feel the village has become brighter thanks to him, they are saddened by the thought of his departure. Still, they understand he isn't the type to remain in a small village forever. Meanwhile, the goddess Nolan observes Takumi's every move. Another goddess then approaches her, curious about her plans for Takumi. She points out that Nolan not only granted him a special body and her blessing, but also sent him 1 full year into the past, before the Holy Sidonia Empire activated their summoning spell. Nolan smiles and saying there's no particular meaning to it. If you come this far, please consider liking and subscribing for more videos like this. Thank